On the world news tonight, I didn't seek job under Tinubu. Obasanjo denies meeting the president at Alaki's birthday. IYC kicks against NNPC's $3 billion loan from Afremix Bank. Oluwo tackles Obasanjo for ordering Oyo monarchs to stand and greet. Security operatives rescue 33 persons abducted in Bauchi. And on sports, Paris Olympics, Olare Omole swells Nigeria's boxing tickets. I am Morire Rebila Lawa. The news shortly. Olusegun Obasanjo, a former Nigerian president, has refuted the claims that he met President Bola Tinubu in Abeokuta on Thursday. A viral video surfaced on the social media where it was alleged that Obasanjo and Tinubu met at the 80th birthday of the Alake of Ebaland, Obad Adedotun Gbadebo, and promised to work for him if he offered him a job. Reacting to the viral video on Saturday, Obasanjo described the video as fake, disjointed, and sickening. In a statement signed by his media aide, Kehinde Akinyemi, Obasanjo condemned the video, saying the banter conversation took place between him and Tinubu when he played host to the former Lagos State governor in 2022 before the country's 2023 general elections. The statement read in part, I have not seen Bola Tinubu since he visited me in my house in Abeokuta when he was campaigning. Secondly, I was at the church and not at the reception of Alaki's 80th birthday reception. The statement explained further, during Tinubu's visit to his house last year, he met the former president playing his favorite traditional game, Ayu, and he started the banter, jokingly telling the former president that he was shocked to see him playing the Ayu game at that time of the day. Spontaneously, as he was getting up from his chair to welcome him and all the accompanying visitors, Obasanjo responded, when I don't have a job, if you are ready to give me a job, I'm ready to do it. This, Akinyemi said, was contrary to the meaning of the video going on virally. Akinyemi quoted Obasanjo as saying that, I'm not looking for work and I'm not working with anyone, as the fake news puts it. Those who are looking for people to work with Bola Tinubu should look outside Obasanjo. The Ijaw Youth Council, IYC, has kicked against the $3 billion emergency crude repayment loan secured by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC, Limited, from the African Exports-Imports Afrexim Bank. The NNPC had last month announced the deal, saying the commitment letter, which was signed at Afremix Bank's headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, will enable it to support the federal government in its ongoing fiscal and monetary policy reforms aimed at stabilizing the exchange rate market. But briefing journalists in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, the National Secretary General of the IYC, Mboye Nagi Obu, noted that if the loan is capped at $70 per barrel of oil, it would take the NNPC about 9 years to pay back the debts. He added that the loan, which will be repaid in crude oil, will further mortgage the future of Nigerian youths who are currently grappling with the economic reality in the country. The IYC National Secretary General said Nigerians, particularly the youths, deserve to know where NNPC intends to get the crude to pay back the Afremix Bank loan, as according to him, NNPC only accounts for 400,000 barrels of the country's daily crude oil production. He said the youths who will bear the brunt of the loan are not comfortable, as the loan facility is shrouded in secrecy with the repayment plan yet to be made public. Moving on to the next story. The Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Abdulrasheed Akanbi, on Saturday said ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo ordering traditional rulers in Oyo State to stand and greet Governor Seyi Makinde at a project inauguration in Isheyin, Oyo State, was tantamount to desecration of Yoruba traditional stews. A short video of Obasanjo, who spoke in Yoruba language, had surfaced on the internet, expressing displeasure to the monarchs for not rising to greet Makinde, describing the action of royal fathers as disrespectful to the office of the governor. Reacting, Oba Akanbi, in a statement signed by his press secretary, Ali Ibrahim, condemned the former president's action and demanded a letter of apology from him, insisting that Yoruba monarchs could not be treated as uniformed men who would be ordered around. The Oluwo blamed the royal fathers who responded to Obasanjo's order. The statement read in part, traditional rulers respect their subjects too. There is a way to respect and to accord to people of old age and position by monarchs. Kingship is an institution of God. As such, relating with kings requires a high sense of modesty, courtesy, and respect. The display by the former president of Nigeria, General Obasanjo, was an affront and intentional desecration and sacrilege against revered stools of Yoruba land. An inquiry to one is an inquiry injury to all. Yoruba traditional rulers are not uniform men anyone can command at will. I don't blame him. Those royal fathers who stood up to obey such an embarrassing directions are to be blamed. The show by the former general is condemnable. Yoruba traditional institution demand an apology for the open desecration to molest and bring down the institution. He needs to prove himself as a core Yoruba man with an apology letter. Kings are not toddlers. We are fathers. He would never dare that against the northern emirs. And to the next story. The Unical Vice Chancellor described as alarming the minister's leaked audio message that went public in which she threatened one of the female students with jail and asked her to stay out of the case. In a leaked video call with one of the girls claiming to have been raped by Indophone, the minister warned the girl that if she lied against Indophone, she would go to jail. The full text of what the minister said as recorded in the audio is, if your VC makes you to go and lie against somebody, you will go to jail, trust me. I want you to be very careful because your future is at stake. You can't join anybody and maltreat a fellow human being, and equally nobody wants you to be maltreated. The day I spoke with you, I recorded what you said, and you told me the whole truth. I have contacted your VC. I don't know what our plans are. I don't want to quote anybody. I don't equally want to condemn or judge anybody. But I want you to be very careful because this thing is going to prove fire if I were you. As you have already said to me, nobody did that to you, nobody sexually harassed you, and if I were you, I'll keep off from the case. But if she makes you go there, she's recording whatever you people are saying in that panel. And if she records you and I bring my own and gets you contracted and this man has gone to court, my ministry will join them and make you go to jail so that you will be an example to others. So I want you to be very, very careful. You are telling me the truth if the Vice VC permits you before you can come and see me. There is nothing she can do to you. She's not the one paying your school fees, so face your future by standing on the truth at all times. Save my number, says. However, speaking in an office on Friday in response to the minister's phone call, Professor Bison stated that while the school management was attempting to deal with the issues through procedural laws and administrative resolution, the minister's ordered threat of legal action against anyone who lies before the panel crept up, bringing a completely different angle to the matter. A new dimension has unfortunately reared its head in a way that has left us non-posed with the leaked viral audio of intimidation and jail threat from the Minister of Women Affairs, Mrs. Uju Kennedy, and a few girls who were bold enough to come out to testify on an alleged age-long sexual harassment of female law students against Professor Indophone. While I do not consider it expedient to respond to the disturbing audio, I wish to generally state that the students of the Faculty of Law, on their own, wrote and submitted a petition and protested against the suspended dean. And as far as I know, those who have testified before the panel on both sexual harassment and other violations were not prompted by anyone. The university should rather be recommended for being on the right path, which is directed towards academic excellence and creating an environment that is key to the survival in an oppressive and dominant patriarchal culture that yields little or no space for women. Moving on to the next story. No fewer than 33 people who were kidnapped in Al-Kaleri local government area of Bauchi State have been rescued by the Joint Security Task Force operating in the LGA. They were kidnapped a few days ago by gunmen who took them into the forest, awaiting payment from their families. However, following the directive of the Bauchi State Governor, Bala Muhammad, who hails from the LGA, the Joint Security Task Force engaged the bandits and secured the release of all the 33 kidnapped victims, Ale and Ati. Caretaker Chairman Al-Kaleri LGA, Bala Mahmoud, received the 33 kidnapped victims on Friday night from the security operatives in Yelwan Duguri in the governor's hometown. Mahmoud commended the security agencies for their quick response to the incident that led to the release of the victims from captivity. The caretaker chairman assured all the 33 released kidnapped victims to undergo medical checkups to ensure their perfect health status before any further actions. To the next story. Residents of Calabar, the capital of Cross River State, are currently experiencing heightened apprehension, anxiety, and palpable fear due to a surging report of male private organ disappearances. In the past 2 weeks, what started as rumor in distant land has gradually crept into many homes in the city, as no one will claim not to have known someone whose private organ has been harvested after a mere handshake or body contact with strangers. The questions agitating the minds of many people are: who are those responsible for the disappearance of male genitals? For what purpose, and what is the fate of those who claim their private part organs have disappeared? Are these claims true, or the people are just raising doors to cause mayhem in the city? The Cross River State government has come out with a statement signed by its Commissioner for Information, Erasmus Ekpang, saying such claims were not true. The state government position was corroborated by the Cross River State Police Command Public Relations Officer, Ms. Irene Ugo, who said such claims were the handwork of mischief makers and called on members of the public to go about their businesses without fear. The residents were, however, not ready to take the police and the state government by their words, as every few hours there was uproar in one part of the town or the other over disappearance of male private organ. Over 15 cases were said to have taken place in virtually all parts of the town, with some organs being restored to the victim by the perpetrators, while some were said not to have been restored. The spare part dealer, Chibuike, told on Saturday that an organ was said to have sold for 600,000 naira last week, but owing to market forces and high demand, the price has gone up to 1 million per organ. Moving on to the next story. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, has charged all formations commanders to collaborate their strength to deal decisive blows on the nation's adversaries. This is also reaffirmed in the commitment and capability of officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army in ensuring safe and secure environment for good governance and socio-economic development in collaboration with sister services and other security agencies. The Corps stated these at the closing ceremony of the Chief of Army Staff Combined 2nd and 3rd Quarters Conference 2023 at the Army Headquarters Command Officers Mess 1 at Sokoro, Abuja. While addressing officers and field commanders further, Corps averred that the briefs and presentations made during the conference have reinforced the tasks and clearly depicted the challenges ahead of the Nigerian Army. He added that the far-reaching decisions made during the conference will propel the Army to redefine its training and operational activities in order to actualize desirable outcomes. General Lagbaja remarked that the conference provided a veritable platform to review training, operational and administrative activities that directly relate to national security. The Corps also presented checks to 10 maiden beneficiaries of Nigeria Army Personal Insurance Scheme in an effort to provide financial security and support the families of personnel who died in active service. The gesture by the Corps is an expression of Nigerian Army's appreciation of the service and sacrifices of its personnel in defense of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the nation, he noted. The Army Chief, who expressed appreciation to the Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Armed Forces of Nigeria for his interventions in repositioning the Army for optimal operation performance, pledged the unalloyed loyalty of officers and soldiers to the federal government and the Constitution of Nigeria. He maintained that Nigerian Army will serve as good example to other armies.
The end of a 3-day conference with senior officers and field commanders convened by the Chief of Army Staff to review security in the country. We gathered that far-reaching decisions were reached which the Army authorities are keeping to their chest. But the Army Chief wants troops to go all out against threats to the country.
I believe this gathering has again awakened us to the reality that we have a job to do. The briefs we listened to and our deliberations on pertinent issues during this conference have reinforced the task ahead of us and clearly depicted that it's not going to be easy. I do not doubt your competencies and commitment to ensuring we join hands with our sister services and other security agencies to create the enabling environment necessary for good governance by the political leadership and economic prosperity for our people.
In a related development, troops have killed 151 terrorists and rescued 76 kidnapped victims.
During the operations in the last 1 week, the military neutralized 151 terrorists. Troops arrested 456 of them and arrested also 43 perpetrators of oil theft. Troops also rescued 76 kidnapped hostages and denied oil theft of the estimated sum of over 1 billion naira.
But there is growing pressure on security forces to
It was a Black Friday in Anambra State as truck with a container fell on top of a commercial bus going to Onitsha with the 10 passengers, only 3 survived. Others are now in mortuary. Report says the 5 women on Friday died while 4 others sustained varying degrees of injury in a fatal motor accident at Odumodu Junction by Inteje along Oka-Onitsha Expressway. Anambra State, the crash, which occurred around 7:30 a.m., involved 2 vehicles, a Mr. Bushi L300 bus with registration number XE245AWK and a commercial DAF Leyland truck with registration number T1909-4LA. An eyewitness said the vehicles were heading to Oka and Onitsha respectively when it suddenly collided at the junction. The 2 vehicles got to the spot at the same time due to the weight of the container being conveyed by the truck. It fell on poles and crashed, killing 5 people on board, while others were seriously injured, he said. Sector Commander, Federal Safety Corps, FRC Adeoye Irelewuyi, confirmed the crash, attributing the cause to foul portion of the road, while sympathizing with the deceased family and praying for quick recovery of the victims. The sector commander urged motorists to drive with caution and be observant of environment while driving. He said 10 people comprising 3 male and adults and 7 female adults were involved in the crash. 5 female adults were killed. 2 male adults and 2 female sustained various degrees of injury, while a male adult was also rescued on earth. The FRC rescue team from RS5.33 Injete took the injured victims to Divine Care Hospital, Omonia, for medical attention, while the dead victims were taken to Chira Hospital for doctor's confirmation before deposition at the New Jerusalem mortuary in Teje. At the time of filing this report, the sector commander, in collaboration with the unit commander Injete, are making effort to remove the obstruction caused by the crash on the junction. From that story from Anambra State, we go to the foreign story. The president of Sierra Leone on Friday accused the United States of pressuring him to interfere in his country's June 24 election count, a statement in stark contrast to the concerns Washington has leveled regarding the fairness of the poll. When the elections were at the height of calling the result, this is when the problem started, President Julius Maada Bio said during a speaking event at American University in Washington. The Election Commission of Sierra Leone, he said, had done all their calculations, collations, all the processes. I was now requested to stop them from calling the result by the United States. So I don't know who is accusing who of interference. They are an independent, simultaneous body, the president said of the ECSL. I declined, and I said I have never called this institution. I am not going to call them now. Bayo, 59, was re-elected in a disputed vote criticized by both the opposition and international observers. In a joint statement following the election, delegations from the United States, European Union, France, Ireland, and Germany said they shared the concerns of national and international observers about the lack of transparency in the tabulation process. Ahead of the poll, some thought the country's soaring inflation and dire economic strength will give the opposition an opening. Bill won with 56.17% of the ballot, just above the 55% needed to avoid a runoff. Finally, on sports. For the first time in recent times, Nigeria will be presenting 3 boxers at the Olympic Games after Adam Olore and Joshua Omole increased the country's ticket to the Paris 2024 Olympics at the African boxing qualifiers. Cynthia Ogunshimilore became the first boxer to pick her ticket to Paris, and yesterday she added the gold medal to her ticket after beating African champion Adija Khalif of Algeria in the final of the women's 60 kg in Dakar, Senegal, while both boxers are expected to compete in Paris next year. Also yesterday, African continental champion Olare secured the final and third ticket for Nigeria after beating Algeria's Mohamed Amri in the final of the men's 92 kg. The Nigerian took down the Algerian soldiers through a split decision of 4-0 to Iman, the champion of the division, and secured a place at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games in France. Omole became the fourth Nigerian male boxer to secure a ticket to Paris 2024 Olympic Games after beating Ethiopia's Yedesa Leta in the final of the men's 57 kg at the African Olympic qualifiers in Senegal. The Lagos-born Pugilis was unbeaten from the first round with 2 knockouts in the first and quarterfinal rounds of the tournament and was flawless in the final against the Ethiopian. The Ethiopian wanted to use the third round to counter Omole, but the Nigerian pugilist showed experience and perseverance to maintain his dominance till the end of the bout to be crowned the champion, which automatically secured him a place at Paris 2024 Olympic Games. To emerge champion, Southpaw Omole knocked out Sierra Leone's Abu Kano in the round of 32, secured a unanimous decision of 5-0 over Ghana's Wabib Omer in round of 16. He recorded his second knockout in the quarterfinal against Namibia's Morning Indevelo. In an explosive encounter against Cameroon's Christian Songwe, Omole again was adjudged the winner by unanimous decision of 5-0 by the 5 judges. Nigeria's last outing in the boxing event of the Olympic Games was Rio 2026 as Efe Ajagba was the sole representative in Brazil. With that story from the boxing and sport as regards the Olympic coming up in France, we've come to the end of today's world news from BGI Television. Before we go, some headlines. I didn't seek job under Tinubu, Obasanjo denied meeting the president. IYC kicks against NNPC's $3 billion loan from Afrexim Bank. Oluwo tackles Obasanjo for ordering Oyo monarchs to stand and greats. Unicall VC raises concern over minister's threats to jail students. Security operative rescued 33 persons abducted in Bauchi. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Babag Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placement only. Thank you for watching. I am Moriri Rabila Lawal. Good evening.